What if I told you that Ferrari not only arrived strong in Australia, but could be hiding a second per lap that no one has seen yet? Because what the SF26 showed in the Bahrain tests was not a simple fast lap for headlines. It was something much more dangerous. It was consistency. It was control. It was perfect energy efficiency in the midst of the transition to the new hybrid era. It was a car that completed its program without drama, without long stops, without gestures of concern in the box. And that, in Formula One, is usually the clearest sign that something big is brewing. While other teams alternated flashes with doubts, Ferrari seemed to execute a methodical, almost cold plan. Charles Leclerc setting the absolute best time without having to squeeze everything. Lewis Hamilton working long runs with a stability that has not been seen in Maranello for years. And the most disturbing thing, without yet showing all his cards. But now comes Albert Park, a completely different circuit from Bahrain. More technical, more unpredictable, more treacherous. And that is where we will know if this SF26 is simply fast, or if we are facing the real monster of the beginning of 2026. Ferrari did not leave Bahrain with fireworks. He came out with something much more dangerous, certainties. And in Formula One, when a team finishes the preseason with technical certainties in a new regulation, the rest should worry. The SF26 closed the tests leading the table with a 1 minute and 31.992 seconds clocked by Charles Leclerc, being the only driver capable of breaking the 132 barrier in comparable conditions. But to reduce what happened to a fast lap would be to misunderstand what really happened. That lap came within a solid program, with high mileage and no serious mechanical alarms. More than 700 kilometers accumulated on the final day, clean execution and without improvisations. Ferrari wasn't looking for headlines. I was validating a concept. And this is where the monster narrative begins to be built. The SF26 showed three fundamental pillars. First, energy efficiency. The new 50-50 thermal-electric hybrid system is the great revolution of this 2026 era, and Ferrari seems to have understood before anyone else how to integrate engine, battery and electronic management as an ecosystem. On the secure straights, the classic clipping at the end of the main straight was not observed. While other cars lost electrical power in the last meters, the Ferrari maintained momentum until braking. That's not raw power. It's top management. And in Albert Park, where corner exit acceleration is critical, it can be decisive. Second, stability in long runs. Lewis Hamilton focused much of the program on high-fuel race simulations. The result was a predictable car, without abrupt drops in performance and with controlled degradation. It wasn't an explosive Ferrari that flashed for 3 laps and then disappeared. It was a constant Ferrari. That completely changes the strategic equation. Third, technical correlation. For years, Ferrari suffered with updates that worked in the wind tunnel but not on the track. In Bahrain, the SF26 responded exactly as internal data indicated. That means the team understands its aerodynamic platform. And when a team understands its car, in-season development becomes exponentially more dangerous. But here the first point of tension appears. Bahrain is a strong traction and braking circuit. Albert Park is more fluid, more technical, with quick changes of direction and areas where stability and prolonged support is vital. Ferrari showed clear strengths in the desert, but Australia will require a different behavior of the front axle and a different reading of the aerodynamic balance. Additionally, there is an element that few are mentioning. Ferrari did not show all of its engine maps. Several sources agree that Leclerc's best time did not come with the engine completely released nor with the car completely unloaded. That means there could still be hidden margin. And if that margin exists, the SF26 could be operating below its actual ceiling. Internally, the feeling in Maranello is not excessive euphoria. It is contained confidence. That difference is key. Because when Ferrari has failed in the past, it has done so from over-expectation. Now the discourse is different. Solid base, consistent car, clear development. And meanwhile, the competitive context adds fuel to the fire. McLaren arrives strong. Red Bull is still Red Bull. Mercedes is undergoing accelerated reconstruction. But Ferrari is the only team that left Bahrain without pressing questions to answer. The SF26 does not appear to depend on specific conditions to perform. It does not need extreme temperatures to function. You don't need radical configurations to find balance. It is versatile. And that versatility is what makes a fast car a real championship contender. Now the scene moves to Melbourne, an urban semi-urban layout where the margin of error is minimal, where the wall is near, where degradation can change radically depending on the climate. and where the classification will mark 70% of the final result. If the SF26 confirms in Australia what it hinted at in Bahrain, Ferrari will not only start the season strong, it will send a direct message to the grille: the new hybrid era could be dyed red from the start. If Bahrain was the perfect laboratory to validate the SF26 concept, Australia will be the netless test. Because Albert Park does not forgive. It is not a circuit of long straights and brutal braking like Sakir. It is a semi-urban layout where the car must change direction with surgical precision, absorb potholes, maintain stability in medium support and traction delicately when exiting slow curves. It is a completely different scenario. And that's where we will know if Ferrari has built a fast car or a truly complete car. The first big challenge will be the front axle. In Bahrain, the SF26 showed stability under braking and progressive delivery when exiting corners. But Melbourne demands something different: confidence in the initial turn. Turns 9 and 10, fast and linked, require a precise front axle and a stable aerodynamic platform at high lateral speed. If the car understeers even slightly, time evaporates. If the balance were too aggressive, rear wear would increase. Ferrari, as seen in the tests, has extended its operating window. That means the car doesn't need an extreme setup to perform. But Albert Park will reveal whether that window is wide enough to adapt to less abrasive asphalt and an evolutionary grip very different from that of the desert. The second critical point will be energy management in a less linear environment. In Bahrain, the main straight allowed for long and measurable electrical delivery. In Melbourne, acceleration phases are shorter, more frequent and more technical. The SF20 SIXS 50/50 hybrid system must demonstrate that its efficiency does not depend on long straights, but can optimize constant micro-accelerations without prematurely draining the battery. If Ferrari manages to maintain that sustained push on each corner exit, the advantage will be even more visible than in Sakir. And then there is the tire factor. Australia often offers changing temperatures. The asphalt can exceed 40 degrees, but it can also cool quickly if cloudiness or wind appears. In Bahrain, SF26 showed controlled degradation in long runs. But Melbourne is more unpredictable. Front graining can occur if the balance is not perfect, and rear overheating can destroy a strategy in as little as 10 laps. Here Lewis Hamilton's experience working long simulations and testing comes into play. Ferrari didn't just look for speed, he sought understanding. And that understanding will be vital when the time comes to decide whether to extend a stint, anticipate a stop or defend position in traffic. But there is something even more decisive: the classification. Albert Park is a circuit where overtaking remains difficult. Not impossible, but conditional. That means the real monster must show itself on Saturday. Leclerc's 1 minute and 31.992 seconds in Bahrain was a statement. If Ferrari reproduces that one-lap superiority in Australia, it will be able to control the race from the front, manage tires without dirty air and exploit its energy efficiency without constant strategic pressure. However, if the SF26 loses some of its advantage in fast cornering or urban traction, the narrative will immediately change. McLaren and Red Bull will not need a superior car. They will just need to be close enough. And here the psychological element appears. Ferrari arrives in Australia with a different expectation. It is no longer the team that promises. It is the team that hinted at dominance. And when dominance is hinted at, the pressure shifts. Now they are the ones who must confirm. Now it is they who must demonstrate that Bahrain was not a technical mirage favored by specific conditions. The SF26 has shown power, stability and technical consistency. But Albert Park will add variables that no test can fully simulate: nearby walls, real traffic, strategy under pressure and the tension of the first Grand Prix. If Ferrari passes that test, the grid will understand something very clear. This is not a fast Ferrari by circumstance. It is a structurally strong Ferrari. And when a car is structurally strong from the start of a new regulatory era, it usually sets the tone for the entire season. Now we come to the critical point, because Australia is not only the first race. It is the place where the initial narrative of the championship is defined. And in a season that marks the full start of a new technical era, the narrative weighs almost as much as the points. If SF26 confirms in Albert Park what it hinted at in Bahrain, the message will be devastating to the rest. It won't just be Ferrari is fast. It will be Ferrari understood this regulation before anyone else. And when a team first understands a new hybrid regulation, development throughout the year becomes exponentially more dangerous. Because there is something that few mention. The real monster is not current performance. It is the potential for evolution. If the car is already born balanced, with a solid correlation between simulator and track, with efficient energy management and controlled degradation, each future update will be more precise. It will not be a team correcting structural errors. It will be a team refining a correct foundation. And that difference over 24 races can be the line that separates a contender from a champion. But there is also the opposite scenario. If cracks appear in Australia, understeer in fast corners, unexpected degradation, loss of energy efficiency in traffic, then the perception will change immediately. The paddock is relentless. I would go from talking about the red monster to talking about Bahrain-specific performance. And that strategic doubt can alter internal decisions, accelerate unnecessary developments, or divert resources ahead of time. Albert Park adds one more factor: unpredictability. Safety cars, wind changes, possible threat of rain. A structurally strong car must respond equally well in ideal conditions and in strategic chaos. And that will be the true thermometer of SF26. If Ferrari dominates from pole and controls the race, the championship conversation will change from minute one. Mercedes and Red Bull will not only have to improve, they will have to react. And reacting under pressure often leads to mistakes. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.